everyone and happy Monday. We have another planner page to do together. This is one from Lost Ocean. Now there's a lot of background going on here. I'm not sure what to do with that yet, so I'm actually going to ignore it for now, and I'm going to do some of the details and think about that later. So let's come in a lot closer. I thought we might just start up at the top corner here and just sort of work through really and see how far we get. This is probably going to be, I reckon, at least 3 parts. I'm just turning it over, turning it around a little bit. We've got our whoops, jellyfish. Let's keep him out of it. There we go. Jellyfish first. Never quite sure how to colour these and what colour to do them really. I'm thinking let's go with a really dark blue. The number 33 in the Ergosoft is called Cobalt Blue, and let's start there. I'm just sharpening because these tentacles are very small. So here we are with number 33, and I'm just going to start by doing these tentacles, and I'm going to put down quite a lot of colour, layer it up quite a bit so they stand out really. There we go. While you're watching, if you're not colouring along, or even if you are, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I often forget to ask, but I know that a lot of you have already, and thank you for that. But there are a lot of people that watch and don't subscribe, or maybe subscribe for a while and then unsubscribed. It does make a nice difference to the channel if you subscribe, and you can hit the bell and you can select how many sort of notifications you get, because I know I release a lot of videos. Maybe it gets on your nerves when you keep getting notifications saying I've released another one, especially as you may know my sort of schedule anyway. But if you you can just change that so that you don't get so many if you don't want them, or you get more if you want more. So it's worth having a little look at that, and I really appreciate it if you subscribe and like, of course, but you might want to wait till the end just in case you don't like it. I don't know, I just went out of the lines massively then, just when I said unlike, so you're going to go, oh, she can't even colour in the lines, I shall unlike her. But just keep going. Sorry, I just adjusted my viewfinder on my camera. I couldn't see it. It's useful to be able to see clearly whether you're in shot or not. Now we have this separate one with the little circular bits. Oops, I'm wondering whether to do that in a different colour just to break it up a little bit. I don't really want to go too light because I'm thinking that this is the sea, and if I do a background, I think I probably will. It might be blue, it might not be though, it might be greenish, but I'm grabbing a dark blue. This is the 3, which is our blue. It's just called blue. So I'm going to use this for these. And again, I'm just going to block them in. I'm not doing anything too exciting. I want it to be quite defined for when I do this skirty bit. And I've got a little idea. Excuse me. I feel I've got some crumbs in my throat, but I had a nice toasted roll, 2 actually. They needed using up. Yum. For lunch, and I think I've got some crumbs. My son toasted them, he burnt them. Not too badly, but they were smoking when he got it gave me an opportunity to show him how to turn off the smoke alarm, which didn't go off, but it sort of reminded me, because I'm thinking, you know, he's I want him to do a lot more cooking on his own. And if I'm out and he's cooking, it might be just useful to know how to turn that off, because it's very loud. Our smoke alarms are wired into the house, and I'm going to do here wired into the electric, and they're joined together. So unlike the battery alarms that we used to have where only one would go off unless the smoke reached the next floor, these are wired, so if it beeps for more than a few times, it then sets every other one off in the whole house, which is a very, very useful thing to have to happen, but not when you're just burning toast. So I'm trying to make it a little darker around the edge, a little lighter in the middle, so he looks a little bit rounded. Now for this piece, I'm thinking maybe that's a sort of see-through piece. So I'm going to colour it in grey, number 80, this is the light grey, and just put a gentle grey layer over it, just to sort of show that it's there, but it's not. I'm making no sense. So I've put a bit over all of it, and this bit that's open, I'm just going to put a bit more on. Maybe it'd be the other way, maybe there would be more on that one bit, but there it is. I've never coloured one like that before, that's quite interesting. Right, let's just pop those pencils back in. Now we have quite a lot of fish on the page. If I come out, you'll see how many we've got. I quite like to do the matching. I think it sort of ties the page together. So we've got this one, and then we've got these little ones, and then these are the bigger ones. Maybe if we do them a mix of colours, so they're not identical but they're all in the same colour family, I think that might be a rather nice to sort of tie them together. So I'm thinking oranges and yellows I like doing for fish. These little teeny ones I'm going to start with, I'm just going to block them in with one colour. So this is 24, I'm a bit far away now, which is it's called Scarlet Red. Okay, yes, that's right, it looks orange to me. And I'm just going to block them in, so although I'm quite far away and you can't see what I'm doing, there's no special magic happening, it's just block colour because of the size. I'm not sure if on the page in Lost Ocean whether they're any bigger. I think this is the shipwreck page, isn't it? Double page, so they're probably not massively bigger. But I'm going to sharpen because I can't stay in the lines. There we go. So for me, maybe it's slightly reddish, but I think this is more of an orange colour. But obviously it's all down to interpretation, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? I nearly started singing then. Humming. No. You don't want to hear that. If you want to hear singing, you go to some good channel on this one. I'm sure my boy could recommend some. He loves watching the looking at people singing on YouTube Shorts. Okay, I'm going to come back in closer now, and we'll do one fish at a time and just make them each slightly different, but as I say, with the same colour family. So this is the one near the top. I'm just putting that one down. Let's grab number 42 first. This is light orange, I think. Yeah. Give it a sharpen. I'm going to use this for his body, and I'm going to try and give him a little bit of a rounded shape. This is how I always do fish. Whoops. Is put more layers around the edge, and especially the bottom there, and then less as we go up towards the centre, and hopefully it gives him a sort of slightly rounded look. It's a little bit tricky with a pale colour like this, it doesn't show up hugely. I'm just going to brush it because I've got a bit of debris on there. There we go. Now, often I will go darker for the tail and fins, but I'm going to go lighter this time just to make him a little bit different. So this is number 11, which is our sand. So we're moving away from our oranges actually, but oranges and yellows, I think I might have said. Say oranges and yellows? I can't even remember what I said. So there's his, I'm just blocking them in because they're small. Now we have a stripe pattern here, so I think we won't ignore that. We'll just grab that 24 that we used for the little fish. We're going to use it quite gently and use it for this one. So try and make it a little bit darker on the edge and lighter in the middle, just to follow the shading that we've already done on our fish. And then I'm going to do it on that little one at the front, and I'm going to leave the centre one just as it is. Okay, so there's our first fish. Now we have this one. Now he's an interesting shape, isn't he? Let's grab the orange we haven't used yet. This is number 4, which is orange. And I would do, I'm going to do him striped. I've never done a stripy fish before, so that's what I'm going to do. Just to be different and a bit adventurous. Rather than trying to make them look realistic, we're never going to achieve that. They're just too small anyway. And let's make him stripy. Now I think I will do his... No, I won't do any more that colour. I will grab my yellow. This is number 1, which is yellow. Now if you would like to know the names of your Staedtler pencils, I do have a little chart with the names on, because it's on their website, but it's not easy to find. And on the pencils we only ever have the numbers, and on the tins and boxes and things like that. It's quite nice to know what the names of the colours are, I think. So I have got a little list in front of me that I'm using to tell you, because I'm not just remembering them. But if you want a chart, I will put a link. I'll just write myself a note and put a link in the description of the video, so you can go and find it. It's in my Ko-fi shop, but it's free. This is 24 again, which is our scarlet red. I'm going to use that for this little line here, but I'm going to do it a little darker on the edges. Try and fade it into the middle. He looks like something now, but I can't think what. And I'm going to use this for the tail. Now the tail has little lines drawn here, so I'm thinking maybe that indicates that bit should be a bit darker. Normally I would do the tail darker near the body of the fish, but let's just do it like that. You can't really see that I've changed the colour anyway. There he is. And we have another stripy fish here. A very different looking stripy fish. I'm going to grab the peach. This is number 43. And I don't use this one very often at all, because it's really difficult to get colour out of it. So I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try and put more colour on the edges than in the middle. Just layering it up gently and see whether we can get it to sort of show up a bit. I think it's coming. Yeah, so the chart is free. It does ask you, the way their page works is it sort of encourages you to give a donation, but you can just pop in 0 in there and get it for free. And it's quite fun knowing what the names are, I think. And the names are true of all Staedtler, so whether you've got the Ergos, the Design Journey, the Noris, although the Noris don't have numbers on, so that's a bit tricky. Or I'm going to go for the light orange next, I think. The 42, I think that's going to go best with the peach. Yeah, whether you've got the Design Journey, the Design Journey Super Soft, I think they may also work for the, they've got some watercolour pencils. It may work for those too, I'm not sure. I haven't checked. My husband's got the watercolour pencils, doesn't use them much. There we go. I think I'm just going to do the tail in this colour too. I think I don't really want a really dark colour on him. I think it just will look a bit odd because his, you know, he's got this light peach. Okay, so let's do this one next. Now he's got lots and lots of scales, and it's very tempting to think you've got to colour every scale. I'm almost tempted, but no. I'm going to use the sand, the 11, for the main part of his body. Rather than colouring the scales, I'm going to try and make it a little bit darker down here. I'll just layer it up a little bit more, and then do less layers as I come up towards his middle. I don't know how effective this will be in this colour because of it being yellow. Yellow's always a little bit tricky for me personally to get looking as I wish, but we'll see. I'm trying to do less in the middle. I think that's working. It's quite difficult to see because of all the scales on there, but I think it's working. Actually, I can see it it looks better in the camera. I can see it there. And I'm going to do similar on his face, so a bit darker down here and up here, and then just sort of do less layers towards the middle so it's a bit lighter. I haven't done any of their eyes, I've just noticed. We'll do those at the end maybe. Actually, these three, their eyes are different to the others, so I think I'll do them now. I'll show you how I do eyes. I've got my grey, light grey, number 80, and I've sharpened it to quite a fine point. I'll show you with this one down here, then my hand's out of shot, it won't be blurred hopefully. So what I do is I colour a little bit on each side and leave some white, and it hopefully gives the idea that there's a bit of shine in the eye. This one's really fiddly. I'm gonna go close and it'll be all blurred for a minute. There you go. And then this one, we've got several layers to the eye. I'll do this bit on the outside. I don't know what that should be. I'm just going to leave him. There he is. Right. There's the eyes. Oops, let's just reorganise my pencils that are in the wrong order. Now his rest of him, we could go for the lemon yellow. I think it's called lemon. No, light yellow, sorry. Light yellow. And just do some, now I'm going to have to layer this quite a few times to get it to show. Now what I ideally want to do is to burnish this in, because if I do a pastel background, which is what's in my mind at the moment, any blue on top of this yellow, yeah, turn it green. Maybe that would be more realistic. That is what would happen. But of course water isn't really blue, is it? Is it? I don't know. Here is a little teeny fish. He's actually the same as this one. But can I remember how I coloured him? I don't know. I'm going to try and remember. I think I used 4. And went around. I think, no, this is the wrong colour, I think. Never mind. Just lighten it towards the middle. It's quite warm today, considering number 24. It's quite cloudy, but it's warm still. I think it's going to cool down a little bit next week. I'm really hoping it will anyway. I think I might have used the sand, the other bits. It's going to be quite warm tomorrow apparently. So the sun is coming out, I've just noticed. I think it's okay. It's not, it's just brightening the desk. I don't think it's in the wrong bit, so hopefully it'll be fine. Then we have our last little fish here, I think. I'm just checking before I start him and get all carried away. Yeah, he is our last one. Look, he's so cute. Now he's got this little thing around his neck. The really little piece I'm going to do in this pencil, which is 24, so it's a bit dark. So I'm going to do that first. I'm not doing any sort of shading or shadow, and I'm going to do these 3 little dots. It's easier as a tip for you, if you're doing little tiny dots like this, it's easier to do a dark colour and to do it first, get it done. If you then colour over it, it doesn't really matter. This is number 4. If you're using a transparent pencil, which these are, then you'll see the colour underneath. So it should, it's a little bit easier if you put your main colour down first and you burnish it down too hard, then you can't get your darker colour on top. And if you try and colour around them, it's really difficult to get that neat and even. Some people can, but for me I can't, so I wouldn't expect anybody else to. I'm going to use 42, I think, for his body. I'm going to use the same technique. Oh, we've got an eye. Let's just do his eye. Number 80. As before, a little bit each side of that black. I'm not sure how well I did that. I can't see it. So sorry, back to 42. So like the others, his body is going to be darker at the bottom, hopefully, with more layers. And then the same here. Just putting down some colour, trying to fade it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's the fish. Where should we go next? Should we go down here? Let's do this bit. We've got the pretty sort of florals. We need to come out even more. There. So I want to do this. Now I'm not sure what colour under the sea plants are. I'm thinking these little circular bits, I'm going to do it in colour them as if they were berries. I think it'd be fun. And then do the other part maybe more like a stem. But I thought we could just try some different colours, not always using green. So this is number 73, which is our burnt sienna. And I'm going to do the berries. I think they're too small to try and do anything too fancy. Now what I would normally do is go a little darker around the edge compared to the centre, rather like I did with the fish. But these are just so tiddly that I think we'll just colour them plainly. You know, just block in some colour. And just do all of them the same. Just seeing how long we've been recording for. I'm not sure how many videos to make this into. I think I'm going to split it up into a few. I think it gives you a little bit each day. I think this could easily be 3 or 4. It's such a detailed page. But we'll just see how it goes. I like to keep them to half an hour at the most. I think I know some of you would be happier with longer, but some of you prefer shorter. So I just do it to a number that I think makes sense. I think sitting down for longer than 30 minutes to watch a video is quite a big commitment to ask someone to do. And then if you're actually going to colour, you know, you may not have that much time. Now I'm very aware that down here we have which could either be gravel or bubbles. I think probably gravel. I think if I colour that grey, then it doesn't matter what colour stem, because I thought I would quite like to do a darker brown stem. So I think I nearly dropped my sharpener then, and that would have made a heck of a clatter. Van Dyke Brown, number 76 for the stem. Now I'm thinking I'm going to put a little bit in between here as well. I thought, you know, because they would be on the stem, wouldn't they? They wouldn't just be bunched together with gaps in between. It's quite fiddly. The stem I'm just going to do in plain colouring again. It's very fine. This is the thing with the Lost Ocean book. I did do a video quite recently on tackling a detailed page in Lost Ocean. And really one of the key things is that with the small details, you know, don't worry about trying to do every little detail. So although I'm telling you here to colour in between these circles, if that's too difficult for you to see, just use the same colour that you used for the circles and just sort of block colour that whole bit in. Make it a little bit easier for yourself. To be honest, I don't think it would look any better or worse than what I did. You know, I think it would just look different. Because you would still see Johanna's drawing black lines. Right, there is that one done. I've noticed it's a little bit, this last one, just feel like I want to put a bit more down. There we go. Now we have this one sort of piece of what looks like grass. I'm going to come in a tad now, because these are a little bit shorter. I'd quite like to not just do that in one block colour and just show you what we could do. So I'm going to start with number 5, which is our green, and put down a really hard layer at the bottom. I'm not pressing hard, I'm just layering up, and then start to reduce those layers as we go up the stem. Like that, okay. And then grab another green. This is slightly lighter green. This is number 52, which is the sap green. And I'm gonna go over what's been done already to sort of block it in, and then extend the colour up towards the top, doing less layers as I go, like that, making sure I've gone to the edge. And then I'm going to grab the number 50, which is our lightest green. It is the willow green, and just do the same thing, go over everything. There we go. And you've got a nice sort of gradient of colour going through the piece of grass, which I think gives it a bit more interest, as it's quite a plain piece. Whereas the next piece, because we've got a different shape, then it's, you know, we don't maybe need to think so much about what to do to it to you know, sort of transform it, as it were. What I'm going to do is I'm still going to use 2 colours, but I'm going to use, well, I'm still going to not just use one colour, perhaps is what I should say. I'm going to do the sort of stalky bit in number 57, which is our olive green, and then I'm going to do the little leafy parts in 56, which is the light olive, I think it's called. I'm getting to know the names. So there's the 57, and here's my 56. Yes, it's the light olive. It's getting really short. It's my favourite. These two go nicely with the light yellow, number 10 as well. So if you want to do a sort of fade like that, using the number 10 with it, it's rather good. There we go. Okay, now we've got 2 other grasses here I've just noticed, and one there and 2 there. I think I should do them in the same way, with fading the colour through. So I'm going to do those, so I will do it with you. So number 5, let me just see what's in shot though. Are they all there? I think we can see them all there. So starting at the bottom with lots of layers and then less. Now don't worry too much about where and how to fade, just have a go. Gosh, I can't see where the bottom of that is, it's that one. I'm just going to colour in that space. Just guess, yeah, it doesn't really matter. We've got one here, can you see that one? So just do less layers as you go up. sort of leave it there. And these two, yeah, I think you can see these two. I think looking for similar items and colouring them in a similar way can help you. Oh, we've got these over here as well. These two here. It's quite difficult to make them out because they're mixed in with another one. Yeah, making them the same. Firstly, it ties together the picture a little bit, but it also helps you not have to make so many colour decisions because you're using the same colour on several things. I'm just checking, there are some right at the top here, but I think I'm going to leave those because we've got to do all that detail, so I might decide to do it a different colour. So now our 52, I shall start, where should I start? With these two. So we're just going over it again. Fading. And then these ones as well. Oh, my foot's going to sleep. I'm sitting cross-legged. I need to stop. Too concentrated on what I'm doing and not on feeling that my leg's going to sleep. And then this one, can you see? Yeah. Like that. And then we have these two at the bottom here. I was going to leave you to do these as homework, but I thought I might as well just do them with you. They're not that big. Oops, I shouldn't have coloured there, but never mind. And then the number 50. Oops, get a hold of it. I'll start on this one. It's a nice colour, this, when it goes on top of the other greens. It sort of really warms and brightens them. I like it all combined together. Let's move these more into the middle. My desk is really creaky again. I don't know whether it's the heat. Sometimes furniture swells and shrinks in depending on the temperature. I don't know if that's what makes it more creaky. I'm sure I'm not leaning on it any more heavily today than normal. That would be a bit strange. I feel like we've done hardly any of this so far, but if it takes time, it takes time. I think it's, I don't usually spend long enough, I don't think, on Lost Ocean pictures. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that there because I've been over 30 minutes and I want to go and get a cup of tea. And then I'll come back and do a little bit more. And yeah, as I say, it's going to be quite a few videos, but hopefully we might get a little bit quicker once we've got I find that once I've got a base down and I've started planning it a little bit, it can make me a little bit quicker. Oh, see, this one and this one are the same. I've just noticed that. I'm going to do those. Actually, I'll do it with you quickly because it won't take long. So the number 57 for the stem, I'm not going to zoom back in because it's just plain old colouring. Which I do a surprisingly large amount of, to be honest. As much as I enjoy shadow, shading, blending, etc. Sometimes, oh, it's nice just to put some colour down on the page and not worry about shade and shadow. I've swapped to number 56. You won't see that. That wasn't very useful. Hang on. Get a nice close-up of my hands. I actually did some gardening this morning. I bought myself some gloves because I don't like having really dirty fingernails on camera. I mean, I know I don't look after my hands and nails very well, for you, but having dirty is nasty, isn't it? So I thought I would I have all my gloves, and I actually got almost a whole bin bag of leaves out of my garden, and it doesn't look any different. There are so many, and the tree was dropping leaves on me as I was doing it, as if it was going, ha ha. How dare you pick up. I haven't picked the leaves up out of the garden for about 3 years though, so it's my own fault, but I can't do it again now for a few weeks because the bin's too full. Right, there is the start of that page, so come back tomorrow. If you're subscribed, you'll get a notification when the next one comes out, but there'll be a next one tomorrow, and we'll work on some more. I'm not sure which bits, but I shall decide. But thank you for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.